We spent a whopping $1,000 in one of the restaurants featured in this video for a dinner of 3. Is it worth the price tag? Stick around and find out in this mouth-watering video. Aloha foodie travelers! Are you ready to explore some of the most expensive fine dining restaurants in Maui? We are on a mission to find out if these pricey eats are worth the splurge. Get your taste buds ready because we're checking out Nylos, the restaurant at Hotel Wailea, Lahaina Grill, Merriman's, and Spago. Let's hope our wallets survive this adventure. But hey, if we're gonna go broke, might as well go broke in style, right? So why do people shell out big bucks for fancy restaurants? Sure, special occasions like birthdays or romantic dinner and networking are legit reasons. But let's get real, it's all about the flavors. And that's what this video is all about, recommending restaurants that are worth the splurge. Forget the location and ambience. I'm all about the taste. I mean, seriously, if you're gonna pay $100 for a dish, it better taste better than Panda Express, am I right? No offense to my orange chicken loving friends out there, but we're talking next level cuisine here. So let's dig in. Let's kick off our culinary journey at Merriman's Maui. This restaurant sits on a hillside with killer views of Kapalua Bay and the surrounding scenery. Unfortunately, our reservation was 8 p.m. so we missed out on the scenery and epic sunset. The main dining area is inside this building, which is bumping with live musicians. But it could get pretty loud out there. For a quieter experience, the outside seating area is perfect for a romantic dinner, which we were seated. Let's talk about the food at Merriman's. This place is all about fresh, locally sourced ingredients, with a lot of it coming straight from their own farm up in upcountry Maui. Some of the must-try items on the menu are the ahe poke, Kauai shrimp risotto, and the grilled Hawaiian catch of the day. When we were seated, we were offered an appetizer. It was my first time trying it out, and honestly, I can't remember the name. Maybe it's pickled fiddleheads? But don't quote me on that. If you know what it is, leave a comment below. We also ordered a coconut-based mocktail since my fam doesn't drink booze, and it was so refreshing. For my appetizer, I went with their famous ahe poke. At Merriman's, they put sweet potato chips in it to give it a nice crunch. It's a brilliant move because you can taste the sweetness of the potatoes while enjoying the marinated tuna. The only issue was that the sliced potato were a bit hard to eat. Maybe thinner slices would solve the problem. Also, the poke was a tad too salty for my liking, and I am someone who loves salty food. Even my son, who loves poke, thought it was too salty as well. I had high hopes for the signature dish I ordered, which was the grilled fish of the day with baby bok choy, rosemary potatoes, grilled lemon and butter sauce. The presentation was impressive, and the bok choy had a delicious smoky flavor that was fantastic. However, when I took a bite of the fish, it was disappointingly bland. I tried adding some lemon, but it didn't help. The potatoes were okay, but the fish was a letdown. My wife and son also didn't enjoy the macadamia nut crusted mahi-mahi, which was similarly tasteless. The restaurant's ambience was great, but the food was not worth the $376.59 we paid for the 3 of us. Overall, I wouldn't recommend Merriman's Maui based on our experience. Another highly rated restaurant we visited during our trip was Spago, a renowned fine dining chain with various locations worldwide. The Spago branch is situated inside the stunning Four Resorts Maui. It was my first time exploring Four Seasons Maui, and I was mesmerized by its breathtaking beauty. Although Maui was a bit quieter than usual when we were there, the Four Seasons was bustling with tourists, creating a lively atmosphere. The offerings at Spago Maui vary frequently to accommodate the availability of fresh, locally sourced ingredients. As for our sitting, we had a stunning view of the Four Seasons swimming pool and the ocean. Even the restaurant ceiling features stunning artwork as well. Nonetheless, the lighting is somewhat poor, causing my footage to come out darker than usual. So please forgive my dim and grainy footage. Once we were seated, I inquired about mocktails with our server, and they were pleased to offer a few selections. We decided on a delightful lilikoi-based mocktail that still makes my mouth water at the thought of it. While we waited for our drinks, I perused the menu and noticed that they also had poke, which I ordered to sample their version. I was so surprised to find that the poke was served in a sesame miso cones. Unlike the typical diced tuna, Spago's poke consists of mashed tuna, similar to spicy tuna rolls. The flavors were intriguing, with a blend of salty and spicy tuna combined with the sweetness of the miso cone. As someone who enjoys traditional poke, the $34 price tag for this appetizer was not worth it for me. Don't get me wrong, it tastes good, but it is not poke. I proceeded to my main course and my eyes were immediately drawn to the steamed Hawaiian snapper, cooked in the Hong Kong style. An opakapaka is known for its delicate flavor, firm and flaky texture, and lightly pink flesh, making it Hawaii's premium snapper. The dish arrived with stir-fried vegetables and rice, and although the cut of the meat was smaller than expected, it was beautifully presented on a bed of vegetables. I tried a small piece of fish and noticed it was bland until I remembered to add the sauce. Once I poured the sauce over the fish, the blend of sweetness from the snapper and the saltiness from the soy sauce was heavenly. At $74, the price tag of this dish was worth it. To end our meal, we savored a baked haleakala dessert, which featured Kona coffee ice cream with toasted meringue resembling a mountain with the lava flowing out of its peak. A chocolate cake base symbolized the lava rocks, making it an exquisitely crafted and delicious dessert. The bill for our dinner experience at Spago came out to $384.34 after taxes and tips for the three of us. This is comparable to what we paid at Merriman's, where we didn't enjoy the meal as much. All things considered, Spago offers a great dining experience with a variety of delicious dishes to choose from. Maui is home to several fine dining establishments, but the next three I will mention stand out as rare gems. Whether you're looking for a romantic dinner or celebrating a special occasion, these restaurants are sure to impress. But before I continue, if you are enjoying this video so far, please like this video. Thank you. Let's continue exploring. Lahaina Grill, situated in the heart of Lahaina town at the historic Hotel Lahaina, is another fine dining gem worth visiting in Maui. With its elegant and sophisticated ambience featuring high ceiling and locally sourced artwork, the restaurant has received numerous awards and recognitions, including being named as one of the top 25 restaurants in the US by TripAdvisor in 2014 and receiving the coveted AAA 4 Diamond Award annually since 1999. After being seated, I perused the menu and decided to order a blood orange spritzer mocktail, which was very refreshing and perfect for a hot day. As an appetizer, I opted for their version of the traditional Hawaiian poke. Their version featured little round crackers called arare, those little yellow-colored balls which gives a nice crunch to each bite. The poke was elevated with the tamari ginger sauce, taking it to the next level. It was both beautiful and tasty. Although priced at $39, which is more expensive than the poke at Spago and Merriman's, it was definitely worth it. When our server informed us that the seafood special for the night was opakapaka, I was thrilled as I could compare it to the dish we had at Spago. The Italian-inspired dish consisted of a panko-crusted opakapaka on a bed of risotto, topped with a juicy red tomato and some vegetables. The presentation was appetizing. Honestly, it was my first time to try risotto, and the first bite was a burst of flavors in my mouth. The creaminess and chewy texture of the risotto blended perfectly with the sweetness of the fish. The price tag of the dish was $73. Our dining experience culminated with a dessert that resembled a piece of art, the Road to Hana, Maui. Look at that! This one represents the winding road to Hana. This sugary treat represents waterfalls you see along the road. And of course, this chocolate-covered mousse represents the island of Maui. The dessert was not only visually appealing, but it was also incredibly delicious. My second recommendation is the most expensive dining experience I've ever had in my entire life. We ended up paying a whopping $1,000 for the three of us. Can you believe that? When I looked it up on OpenTable, it had an outstanding 4.9 out of 5 stars rating. So my expectation was pretty high. And I have to say, the food did not disappoint. It was like an explosion of flavors in my mouth with every bite I took. I even had to close my eyes just to savor it all. But here's the thing, if you don't drink wine, you might be out of luck. All they had to offer was Aloha made juice in a can, which is not exactly what you expect from a restaurant that charges $250 per person. I mean, I get it. The wine pairings are supposed to be a big part of the experience, but still, it would have been nice to have some options for non-alcoholic diners like me. Combined with a hefty price tag, that is the reason why this is only my second recommendation. Nylos, owned by executive chef Jeremy Solin, is this quaint restaurant located in the heart of the charming town of Wailea. This is the only chef's table restaurant in Maui, with only 5 tables and 14 seats in total. It is truly an intimate dining experience. As soon as we were seated, I realized that there wasn't a traditional menu. Instead, depending on the availability of ingredients and the chef's creative inspiration, each night has a different menu. It was a bit overwhelming when we were handed a piece of paper and told that we had to eat everything on the 6-course menu. What sets Nylos apart from the other fine dining restaurants on the island is the absolute mind-blowing flavors. Take for example the first dish, the humble potato with caviar on top and edible silver. The sauce surrounding the potato was simply divine and made every bite a true taste sensation. Even the simple dish of different mushrooms, which was the third dish offered, became an entirely new experience when dipped into the red-colored sauce in the center of the plate. I never knew mushrooms could taste so incredible. Then came the risotto with truffles, and it was like heaven on a plate. The creamy and nutty flavors of the risotto were elevated to a whole new level by the strong aroma and taste of the truffles. The seared tuna with veggies was another standout dish, as the searing technique combined with the sauce made it taste like beef instead of fish. And I can't forget the dessert, which was a heavenly experience all on its own. The simple meringue dessert was transformed by the colorful syrup on the plate. I just had to dip it in each one to experience all the different flavors, from chocolate to strawberry to mint and orange. I couldn't resist clearing all my dessert plate, even though I usually leave some behind. Overall, Nylos provide the best dining experience I had ever had. It's not just about the meal, it's the entire experience that makes it truly exceptional. I highly recommend Nylos to anyone who wants to have an extraordinary dining experience that they will never forget. And finally, I am thrilled to share my top pick for fine dining in Maui, the restaurant at Hotel Wailea, named as The Restaurant. Yes, that's the name, The Restaurant. As soon as we arrived, we were blown away by the stunning location on the hillside overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The restaurant lobby was equally impressive, with unique lighting fixtures and a high ceiling that made for the perfect photo backdrop. The menu offers a fusion of Mediterranean-inspired cuisine with a Hawaiian twist, and it's no surprise that it has received numerous accolades and awards. It was named the best Hawaiian regional cuisine and earned a spot on the OpenTable 100 restaurants in America. We had the 3-course dinner at $125 per person, but for those who wants to indulge, there's an option to add caviar for an additional fee between $125 to $225. As soon as we were seated, my wife and I eagerly ordered the ginger lime mocktail, which arrived in a unique copper cup that kept it extra cold. Upon taking a sip, we both coughed simultaneously due to its strong ginger flavor, but as we continued to drink, we found it to be quite refreshing. I had to mention about the bread. I haven't talked about it at the other 4 restaurants I mentioned, because it was nothing special. But at Hotel Wailea, the bread was an experience in itself. It had a texture of bread, but was as soft as cake when you bite into it. And dipping it into the oil was absolute perfection. We loved it so much that we asked for more, 3 times to be exact. Good thing it was free of charge. Our server told us that it's a popular treat at the restaurant. For my appetizer, I ordered the ahi tatake. When the dish arrived, I couldn't help but admire how beautiful it looked, with seared tuna swimming in ginger ponzu sauce, topped with wakame and pickled Fresno peppers to give it some heat. And let me tell you, this was hands down the best ahi tatake I have ever tasted. It was sweet, tangy, spicy, and salty, all perfectly balanced and absolutely delicious. For my main dish, I went with the blackened opaka paka. 3 of the other restaurants I mentioned also had opaka paka fish in their menu, and for good reason. It's just so tasty, no matter how it's prepared. But what set this dish apart was the sauce. Most blackened fish dishes I had before did not come with much sauce, but this one was different. The dashi-based sauce gave the dish just the right amount of heat and acidity to balance out the sweetness of the fish. It was so good that I wished I had a spoon to slurp up every drop of sauce on the plate. We concluded our evening by indulging into a delectable panna cotta topped with blueberry compote, macadamia nut brittle, and a hint of edible gold. It was my first time to try edible gold. And while some say it has nutritional benefits, I can't really attest to that. Our total bill for the 3 of us came to $500.96. If you're looking to splurge for a special occasion, the last 3 restaurants I featured in this video are definitely worth it. However, if you're on a budget and don't want to spend at least $400 per person, check out my video on food trucks in Maui by clicking on the thumbnail. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Until next time, travelers, mahalo!